Hello, thanks for tuning in. So yes, the idea of reality dysmorphia has been sort of floating around in my head for a time. Reality dysmorphia, which stems from spiritual dysmorphia, which leads to body dysmorphia, if you will. You know, to morph. We've been morphing into this reality for eons, we've been transforming. Morphology is a big subject, from biology to linguistics, but I just want you to think of it today in relation to transformation, the idea we morph into different fields of understanding and stages of development, and in our own personal lives and in our whole evolutionary life. Okay, we've been morphing. We were fish and we've morphed into monkey. We were monkey and we morphed into Homo sapien. And here we are in this day trying to overcome, maybe trying to morph into the God that we might be. Who knows? But anyway, morphology. So, body dysmorphia is affecting so many people. Okay, we really are lost. Like I said, I call it the devil's mirror. We mirror ourselves in the wrong mirror, so we're in dysmorphic states as a result. And unfortunately, look, reality's tough. Okay, some people are just, good looking and some people are not. Okay, and there's nothing we can do about that, and you can't just chop bits off and stick bits on to sort of adjust that in any way whatsoever. Okay, sticking on false eyelashes and all this shit just makes you look worse. Okay, you're beautiful the way you are. Now I know it's easy to say you're beautiful the way you are if you're suffering in your body, if you don't fit into reality. It's easy for me to stand here and go, hey, you're beautiful the way you fucking are, because it sounds like a lot of spiritual hippie fucking nonsense that means nothing. But you are beautiful the way you are, but you need to fit into your reality in the correct manner. And we suffer reality dysmorphia. It's not just body dysmorphia. That stems from reality dysmorphia, which stems from spiritual dysmorphia. Okay? So, maybe you're not in the right body, but you are in the right transcendental driving seat. Okay, you have a set of modes within that I always talk of that give you, they make you a giant. There's a giant within your body, okay, and it's driving your body, and it's like wearing it like it's a four-dimensional astronaut suit, a metaphysical astronaut suit, and we all walk around in these bodies going, what the fuck, who am I, what is this, etc. But we get lost in our bodies and we forget this giant within, okay, to overcome, you have to get a hold of what you truly are, okay, and so reality dysmorphia. You're not fitting into reality in the right manner because you don't understand your spiritual input, okay? Spirituality itself has become polluted. People relate, when they hear about spirituality, they have so many triggers in relation to religion, and what religion, the oppressive side of religion, and the dominant hierarchies that have driven it, and we forget the good in it. Okay, the idea of church and circle and coming together and communion, to hold communion with one another. We forget that spiritual connection that it is in us, irrespective of those that have polluted our spiritual waters, if you will. Okay, so, spirituality is something hippie and dippy, or it's like something religious, and it triggers so many fucking triggers, so people have lost sight of it. So they're lost in reality, okay? They're just not morphed into reality in the correct manner, and okay, so they become isolated, compartmentalized. They don't know what they belong to in a transcendental way, so, they live through a myopic lens trying to understand themselves and their place in the world, okay? And that's an entire reality dysmorphia. A good way of thinking of reality dysmorphia is like the class system is a prime example. Okay, the idea that we are in where we have dysmorphic ideas of different sets, different stations for different people. This category of people and this category and the better than thou. Okay, and that's a reality dysmorphia. That's not reality at all. That's that's a false reality, a false hat, a shoe that doesn't fit anyone. Okay, but it's reality dysmorphia, and we've morphed into that, we've transformed into that, and the huge language set, the huge language narrative that drives it all. Okay, the better than thou and the upstairs, downstairs, and you all know the fucking variables. Okay, we don't need to go through it all. My point being is that's not reality. That's a crooked, like we bend. I love when Peterson talks about when when you tell a lie, who are you to bend the fabric of reality? And the class system bends the fabric of reality. Thinking a white person is different than a black person, thinking a white person is superior. That's a reality dysmorphia. And once again, it all stems from a spiritual dysmorphia, which leads in turn to body dysmorphia. And body dysmorphia is a wide field, where our lens is bent. The lens inside our bodies is bent. We've forgotten who we are. We've forgotten the journey we're on. We've forgotten the path. So anyway, we don't fit in. We don't fit into our bodies. We don't fit in. We don't know the world we are of. And, how do we come back to the table? How do we transform ourselves onto the right path? Okay, how do we morph? Okay, how do we morph onto the right way of being? Morph into it, if you will. And that's going to take conversations like this. That's going to take people who are listening morphing around morphing around a more complex way of looking at things. And you have to live your life, and we don't, it's hard enough being in, if you feel you're in the wrong body, without having to mirror the devil's mirror, without having to be in the window of the celebrities and all the rich people telling us, the rest of us, that we're losers and so on, that we haven't come up to scratch in relation to how they are. And that's just a crooked lens again. That's a reality dysmorphia, the idea that the devil is selling us that window that we can reflect in. It's just all fucking ugly, and we've been uglified by it. We've allowed it to come into our spirit. We half embody it all, and we don't know where we are in its lens. So how do we get back on track? Well, we can turn off the devil's mirror for a start. That would help, okay? We don't need to be looking at standards of beauty and standards of strength and standards of fucking wealth, that is, casting shadows over the rest of us. We don't need that. That itself is the dirty shadow. We can rule out that. And that's kind of easy to rule out. It'll take time, but it's easy enough. But how do we come into ourselves? How do we embody ourselves so we do feel that we're the wrong height, we're the wrong size, we're the fucking wrong colour, there's no such thing as the wrong colour, but some people feel that way. There's the wrong whatever version of self. How did we come back into ourselves? Well, you have to get hold of the transcendental light within. You have to get hold of the captain in the ship as opposed to the ship itself, okay? Some people are in big cool ships, some people are on rafts, some people are in canoes, if you will, but we're all captains, and we're all transcendental captains, irrespective of the boat that's carrying us through these waters. That's a nice flow. Anyway, body dysmorphia, it stems from reality dysmorphia. We're not looking through the right lens at reality, and that stems from spiritual dysmorphia, because we are not embodying the full version of what we can be in the most complex, beautiful, refined sense, in the most complex, beautiful, transcendental sense, and so on. So yes, I hope you can take something from that. Just trying to spread the love, just trying to, help people float the boat they're in down the happy river. Peace and love and logic.